Ochieng, and I'm originally from Kenya, but I've lived in the UK here for 30 years of my life. I like to say that so that people really understand my background and some of the ideas that we bring to what we do. I'm a food scientist, but also a food innovator and inventor. And our company is called Sacoma Global Foods Innovation, and we have won several awards for what we do. But over many years, we are kind of bringing new concepts into food. So when people ask us, are you a food company, or a food school, or you are a food business? And we say we are all the above, for the simple reason that you cannot segregate or separate. When we're talking about sustainability, we are talking about health and well-being, we're talking about educating people. We are talking about inventing and producing new products that resonate with the global trends that we are talking about. You cannot isolate them. And why I'm involved with the university is because knowledge base and knowledge transfer becomes a critical role as to whether people do new things or they do things as they used to. So our company is a food business. We have our own retail chains. We are a food distributor, and we are a food educators. So a lot of our impact is around reskilling new people. And in our sustainability session today, we are talking about new models of schools, where we bring the university and the academic sector into the community. And this, to me, I find so relevant because people have a lot of inbuilt knowledge and aspirations and ideas. And just because they are not sitting in an academic situation or school doesn't mean they cannot achieve, and doesn't mean they cannot aspire to be big manufacturers and Unilever like the other people. But yet these are the people who are impacted by everyday situations. When we talk about obesity, we talk about opportunistic diseases that come from eating, and all the disorders is everyday person. It's not the big companies. And so it is in the honor for us to empower the everyday person, for them to be manufacturers, to be the producers, to be the educators. So we have what we call a sustainable supply chain innovation. And this is what I wanted to talk about today, because in developing food products that resonate with health and well-being, we cannot rely on the people who are profit-driven. And as a business, I'm not saying we are not profit-driven, but we are more social impact-led because we want to be an example of what we hope the world would look like. And so we can't give the responsibility of manufacturing food and help that our health and well-being is going to change, yet we are led by people who are profit-driven. They want to make profit for their shareholders, and this is what drives them. Yet they have a lot of other social impact activities and investment in other activities, but socially, it's not necessarily they are driven by social impact. So in our food program, we have what we call a food school. And the whole existence of the food school is to identify talent for an ordinary person who will never step inside University of East London. But yet they are just as gifted as all the graduates and the PhD holders and the diploma holders, but they need somebody to safely hold their hand. And this is where we exist as a business, not because we want to make a lot of money, but our satisfaction comes in knowing that within the community space, there's a safe place for people with ideas to come in. And we're also pushing the idea that knowledge transfer does not necessarily come from within academic institution. Individuals have a lot to teach us, So when we run our food school, we give people a space to say, what do you already know and you do naturally? And for us now is to bring the science and innovation into what they do and make it real. So you see somebody who has a food product idea, we come in and we teach them, how do you make food safe? How do you make it sustainable? How do you reduce waste? I've been teaching people about sustainability. You can talk sustainability for 3 years to them here, but unless you can demonstrate to them in their everyday life, people will not understand it. And I say to them, it's as simple as, how much water are you using when you're making your food product? How much waste are you generating when you buy your 20-kilo tomatoes and you chop, and you remove 22 kilos of it goes into the dustbin, and then your only ingredient you're using is 8 kilos out of 10. So then they begin to understand, oh, so this is what sustainability means. So I can be a responsible, sustainable food manufacturer, and I can enter the supply chain. So I'm very interested in the idea of science and innovation and creativity, but also that we need to bring people along in a safe space. And safe space is where what I think this university is doing is bringing science into the community and then engaging them so that we meet in a safe space where all of us are able to impact on one another. And we can see new products created. So I'm so pleased that, within the last, I think, 1 year, we have been able to support 40 food businesses. So you can find safe African indigenous sources in our retail. And if we were not this pushy and very focused in achieving this, we would just go and buy whatever sources come from wherever. They are safe, they are ready to retail. And why do I need to bother about some 60, 40, 30-year-old African woman who's struggling in their home to produce something? But for us, we've said also that sustainability is about using some of the sustainably farmed food ingredients, that have high nutrition values that are being forgotten, things like millet. We want to bring this back because they're sustainably produced. They also have, they use less water to produce. And so there's a lot that we do as a business. And I'm just excited that we had the opportunity as a business to be able to present in this today so that we demonstrate that science is not about the big researches that are taking place in the lab. We also do something called a bioconversion. And this is, we've been introducing the concept of eating insects. And a lot of people say, oh, this is gross. So you explain to people, why would we be eating insects? And why are we introducing this concept in Europe? And I say insects are already eaten in almost 80% all over the world. You need to educate to people, how safe is it? Why is it alternative? Why is it better than the other? How does it play in the space that we are going to do this? And we demonstrate to this as a small business. We also have our own research where we are doing the bioconversion. We are getting involved with the university to help us so that we are able to achieve, so that everyday person understands, I can be a food producer, I can be skilled, I can use my indigenous knowledge and produce something new. I am important, I'm valued, my ideas are just as valuable, I just need a safe space. Education is continuous, it's never ending. We have learners that are up to 60 years in our class. They're producing marvelous, great products that resonate with health and well-being. So I think there's so much we can say, but I just want to be able to say, as a university, as education centers, let us work all in partnership in what I call is almost a symbiosis type of business where each of us has something to gain from one another. And in this way, all we're talking about sustainability, future innovations, we are all driving it all together.
But I'd like to find out from you, Perez, because you've talked about the learning from each other and the knowledge exchange. But I'd like to find out from you how you measure impact.
Yeah.
Because one of our great conundrums as researchers is how we measure the impact in the community. But how do you, working in sustainability, measure your impact?
So we have just registered to attend some of your programs that you are running, so we can measure our impact. But other than that, along the way, we measure impact by observation. So we had a video that we wanted to play for you as feedback, some of the learners we have in our food school now, where somebody said, I didn't know measuring, because they do chin chin. Chin is like it's a snack. And they said they didn't understand the importance of measuring the sizes and the shapes of their pastries. And I say, this is the whole background of food safety. Because if you're going to fry them, you need to know that they're going to consistently cook. And so we measure impact by the ability, by seeing how people make the progress from what they do, and this resonates back into us as a business to say, somebody who previously could not produce safe food is now able to produce packaged food that we can now retail, and we can now sell it into the open market space. So for us, that is impact. But impact is also based on how we engage other people. We take apprentices in our offices. We have one of our apprentices here today. We are investing in young talent. Our business development manager is with us here, Samuel. So we are not generational. We are not looking at age. We cut across the board in terms of the people that work for us, the people that engage with us, whether it's our food suppliers, whether it's the people that we educate. And we are coming up to the level to say, as a leader in the company, I'm very much well-resourced and exposed, travel all over the world. I can sit in my office and make a lot of money. But I'm saying I need to take lead in transferring some of what I know into the next generation. And whether that be through the people who are the future managers and develop the talent, or whether through coming to the community and teaching them what I know. And people ask them, why do you teach a lot of people about food? Are you not afraid of competition? I say, no. If you're creative, the ideas flow every day. You're innovative, they flow every day. The more I upload them onto you, the more that I get to think and create more. So I live in a space where I'm not afraid of competition or people copying. And I think this gives me a safe space to be able to say, the impact is not just about my business and how fast we grow. We are a fast-growing business. But it's every day that we see people who are not able to engage with us are able to engage with us. Now, in terms of measuring it, we've started measuring our carbon footprint, so we can now tell you about our impact and our supply chain. We've just been awarded for the best supply chain innovation and for a lifetime achievement on that. So impact in the community, we are working on that to measure that. And believe me, before we came this morning, he was working on an impact document, and it's hard to work on it. I think we are on to our 50th page, and we're thinking, okay, can we really measure? So it's something that we'd like to also work with the university to see that, yes, this is how we can measure it, because to me, it's almost like an academic paper that we need to produce. And we are accepting that we do not have the skills and to be able to make it, to be able to show it. So this is one of the areas that I really want to partner with the university to do that, yeah.